All right. Greetings and welcome back once again. Hopefully I could be heard. This is Amuna. I haven't been playing my intro, so let me do the little bit of house cleaning. And we're going to come and have hopefully a quick conversation on this case, okay? So like, subscribe, and share, and all that lovely stuff that I forget to say when I start talking. You don't know how it is again. Welcome. If you're following this case, is coming out. More information is coming out. So today, and again, I pray everybody's doing well. Today, I was going to talk about something else, but then the 911 call comes out. And then I like to look at what's going on across, what different people are saying on all sides. It's just interesting the way the human mind works. I'll just say that. So let's take a listen to the 911 call, because there are all these conspiracy theories that are being spun. I mean, I'm one for conspiracy theory, but I'll let you know when, I have a feeling, but not on something like this. Something like this, especially in this fact finding portion of the conversation, especially when a lot of things are fresh and new. I don't understand the need or desire for people to rush to judgment. Even when I did the initial thing, I tried to keep it to what was being said, because it's dangerous what you put out there. People run with it. Like, for instance, the photo was out there, and the people came back and said that that's not particularly her. So I'll tell you what I've come across so far, because some of these people, I mean, yeah, you just can't just go out making up stuff. So some of the people are saying the woman wasn't a nurse, but someone who was within the medical field found her nursing license. I forget the state at this time. It's somewhere in the Midwest. She's been licensed for 2 years. She got her license in 2020, according to what is being said. Those who are out there saying, and they pulled up her license, okay? For those who are out there saying the woman is not licensed, or she wasn't licensed, or no person exists, they found her license, the internet detectives, and the person does exist with that name. Now, is it the same exact person? This is what they're leading us to believe. Know why people don't just be easy. It's like, yeah, YouTube is one thing, or you want to rush out and print the story, but there has to be some level of integrity. I know a lot of people are not journalists, but my goodness, the stuff that I'm hearing like, turn yourself in, you know what you did. Awesome, you know what you did last summer. I'm like, what is wrong with the people? Can y'all tell me that? What is wrong with the people? So let's listen to the call. Although I heard more than one call, but let me know which call you heard. I'm going to play the call here, because there are people that saying it was a setup and she did it. And I'm like, bruh, how are we there? How are we to this point? You know what I mean? Anyway, let's take a listen.
Are you saying with the is this the house department or business? It's an apartment. What's the apartment number? I don't know. He just asked the apartment. Kevin Samuel. I'm not sure what it is, but just he's not breathing. I'm trying to give him CPR. He's breathing now, but I think he has a regular rhythm. We didn't know what apartment number to go to. I don't know, but it's the front desk. What's that kind of you're calling from now? He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart, so he's gonna get here with the fucking. Man, I'm up for one. He's carrying a balloon. Okay. I'm staying with that. Hold on.
So now that y'all seen that and heard that.
Wait, hold on. That's not even the full one. Let me go try to find the full one, because the person, there's some pieces missing that I wanted to kind of listen collectively and see what pieces we can pick up from, just met the woman the night before, but just on what we heard, The fact that she said his first and last name, to me, lends to her knowing him from another space. Like many people who know him from YouTube don't just call him Kevin. They call him Kevin Samuels. They call, it's like a pimp named Slipback. You got to say the whole thing, right? So that also indicates that she may have known him in the same capacity that many people know him. It's like if somebody knows you from around the way, chances are they're not going to say your whole name. And another part in the conversation, the way she said it to the operator is as if the operator should have also known who it is. Like she even curses at the operator and said, "It's Kevin effing Samuels," right? When she's trying to, when you listen to 911 calls, when there's a lot of 911 calls, what 11 Alive News? Let me see here. I'm trying to get a clean copy of the call. Let me see if I can get a clean copy of the call. Hold on.
Get ready for
Oh, come on, skip out YouTube.
most patriotic celebration featuring Toby Keith.
Let me know if you guys can still hear. Hold on one second.
Hello, ma'am. Is this the health department or a business?
All right, this sounds like it's going to be a clean call. Hold on one second.
What's the apartment number?
Let me do it again. Hold up. I should change this channel to Common Sense, but there's already a rapper named Common Sense. Because some of this stuff is not, I'm like, bruh, put down the weed, stop smoking, yo. Some of the people sound like they be chiefing while they coming up with these wild, crazy stories, though. All right.
I don't know. He just asked about Kevin Samuels. I think I'm not sure what it is, but just he's not breathing. I'm trying to give him CPR. He's breathing now, but I think he has a regular rhythm. Please hurry. I'm a nurse, but I'm trying to give him CPR.
Thank you. We didn't know exactly what apartment number to go to.
I don't know. I just don't know.
What's that phone number calling from? Is he awake?
So there's some people who are saying that she said she was a nurse on the police report. She said she was a nurse on 911. She's using words like irregular rhythm. She's able to identify that he's possibly having a heart attack. She tried CPR, but that wasn't working. And she tried to, according to what's being said, to call down to the front desk to get a defibrillator. So we're going to and she doesn't know the apartment number, and if she met him the night before, chances are if she wasn't cognizant when she was entering the building, she probably wouldn't know the apartment number.
No, he has an irregular rhythm. I can feel it. He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart. So he's going to get here with
Atlanta, operator 936, requesting fire ED for 9 Echo 1. Echo 1.
I'm saving, man, hold on. I'm saving on my girl. Oh my God.
Okay, ma'am, we have help around, we have fire and EMS around, but we didn't know that apartment number, ma'am. It didn't take longer, we have to ask the front desk, ma'am. We didn't know what apartment number you're in.
So that's also wild that, the person doesn't know you enough. You have people in your intimate space and you're sharing the most sacred part of yourself, and the person doesn't even know where you live. That right there, we'll talk about that, but let's continue to listen. Oh, by the way, because this is a 911 call, so if you're easily triggered, just be aware this may not be the discussion for you. I forgot to give that warning in the beginning. So that was let me see, did I miss a part?
I'm not going to stop doing CPR.
So that was one of the calls. The other one is when she first calls, and it sounds like a melanated woman who is on the phone that connects her. The ambulance, I believe, who's trying to get to her, but they can't get to her because they don't know exactly where she is. And if you looked up on the police report, which I did, I mean, I did a little bit of research. I didn't do too much, but I did a little bit. Okay. What happened? I did a little bit of research. So when you look at the the apartment complex. And why, let me show you why knowing exactly the apartment number would have been important. Let me get this. I'll show you guys. Some of this stuff is, I don't know how people do their research. But if you don't consider all factors, you will come to some harebrained conspiracy theories without, when you could have just looked up some stuff. Now hold on one second. Because the police report gave I had to free up some space on my phone, so I kind of, I'm not doing the whole breakdown on the case, so I just kind of, by the way, took a look at it. But hold on, hold on, wait a minute. Let me see if here. All right, so we're gonna look up the police report, and it says the location is, and I'm gonna pull it up and to show you why they're like, how are we supposed to know where you at? 297 East Pacey's Northeast. Okay, hold on. Atlanta, Georgia, right? All right, let me share my screen. Wait a minute. I wanted to see the outside of the building. Hold on. It's a very large apartment complex, essentially. But I'm trying to see. Come on, people. This is not what you gave me before. Images. Atlanta, Georgia. Why are you doing the most, computer? Let's see how many apartments are in here. These are the kind of things you consider when doing research, especially when you're about to plant seeds in the minds of people that's going to run off with your little theories, right? Without having done the research. It's just not right. It's just not right. Come on, man. I'm going to look one more thing. Hold on. I'm trying to get the whole schematic here. Let me just pull it up for you guys here. 1 second. Share the screen. Okay. Let's see if we can find out any details about why would have been the apartment housing complex, right? 297 East Pacey's Ferry Road Northeast. Okay. I wanted to see how many units are in this thing. How many units? Atlanta, Buckhead, DDD, colleges, transports, points of interest. It's not telling me how many units are in this particular location, but it's not a small complex, essentially. It's not a small complex. Let me see if I can see outside. So her not knowing the number would have been a big deal, because unless she can run down and tell them this is part of the outside here, if she can run down and tell them where she is, there's no way for them to know unless they GPS her. Where is she? It's not a small complex, right? Oh no, my computer's gonna die. So let's proceed. Let's proceed because my computer's gonna die. So yeah, that's the 411. I was about to call it the 411 call. That's the 9. People are saying she doesn't sound genuine, and all of this other stuff. Again, when somebody's in emergency, and I'm not capable for the lady, I don't know her, but some of the or being unrealistic. When you're in an emergency situation, who you are at the core of your being is what comes out. There's some people saying, well, she was a nurse. This woman is a 2-year nurse. There are things you learn on the job. There are things you learn along the way. You don't just pop out of medical school knowing everything emotionally, mentally, physically, how you cope and operate. There are plenty of people in the medical institution that have freaked out when something has happened that has caused damage to other people. So just because you have the intellectual training doesn't mean that you are emotionally mature enough to handle a situation that's not even in a medical setting. So I don't know if getting this thought from the TV or something we saw on Doogie Howser MD or something, but the way we're looking at situations are unrealistic, right? Considering all of the factors. We don't know what they were engaging in. Some people say they were engaging in certain things when this all happened. It's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We don't know what comes before this moment. So I don't think, for me, when I'm listening to the 911 call, I don't get all of the conspiracy that people are getting. Right? Maybe somebody wants to blame somebody. Maybe they don't want to be honest about the health that the person was in. Maybe they don't want to attribute it to the Red Bull. But I think it's disingenuous. If you're having these conversations in your spot, okay. But to come to YouTube and social media and espouse all of these things is dangerous, is what I'm saying. It's dangerous. And people are doing it for entertainment value, and no way came it for Kevin Samuels. I don't even think this is about Kevin Samuels. It's more about the way we, the people, consume information and process information. We don't wait for a lot of the facts. We speak oftentimes out of turn. We spin these wild conspiracy theories because who's gonna come check us? It's wrong. And I don't even think I'm gonna have the time to get to TI because I don't feel like running and my computer's gonna die. So we're gonna ride till the computer starts acting up. How about that? So that was my thoughts about that. But heart attack. I came across this thing because since all of us now are overnight uh medical doctors of what you should have done and what the person should have done, I said let's look up together a little bit about when someone's having a heart attack. Right here. Which again I read the other day were some of the effects of drinking too much Red Bull, okay? Which we know. We have to go with what we know. It's cool to go with the conspiracy, but he did that in front of the whole people. He drank all of those Red Bulls that we know have an adverse effect on your heart in front of everyone. So how do you jump over all of what the man has done? Let me move this from the screen. How do you jump over everything that he's done in your eyesight and then be like, yeah, it was her who did it? Like, where's the accountability? I thought this what this whole campaign was about, accountability. Where's the accountability to say, you know what, there's a possibility that you did some things that contributed to the heart issue? Or where is the looking for the autopsy to get more information, be like, this is what came out, and we're going to wait to see more information as it relates to what actually happened. Heart attack, myocardial infarction. Medically, okay, is a deadly medical emergency where your heart muscle begins to die because it isn't getting enough blood. This is usually caused by a blockage in the arteries that supply blood to the heart. If blood flow isn't restored quickly, a heart attack can cause permanent heart damage and death. And in this situation, it caused death. So she realized whatever they were doing, what he was complaining, according to the police report. Let's read the police report again. She says here, Miss Alcantara stated that she met Mr. Samuels last night, came to his apartment, and spent the night with him. Miss Alcantara also said that early morning, Mr. Samuels complained of chest pains. Sometimes, you remember how Red Fox used to be like faking his heart attack? Sometimes it starts off as a chest pain and then it escalates, right? So she's saying that he complained of a chest pain. She attempted to help him, but he fell on top of her and she proceeded to notify 911. Okay. So we already established that it has to do with a lack of blood flow to the heart muscle. It can occur because of many different factors, but it's usually related to a blockage in one or more of your heart arteries. Without blood flow, the affected heart muscle will begin to die. If blood flow isn't restored quickly, a heart attack can cause. We already read that. She was trying to get a defibrillator because CPR wasn't what this situation calls for. They say how common is heart attacks. Sometimes we're like, it has to be such and such, when some of these things are very common based on the lifestyle, based on the things that people are doing. But because we don't want to take personal responsibility oftentimes for the ways that we contribute to certain things, we have to find someone to blame, right? New heart attack happens, to about 635,000 people in the United States each year. About 300,000 people a year have a second heart attack. How do we know that before, that he wasn't having these issues before? On the other video, we showed that someone put a compilation to where he was having indigestion, to where when he was drinking, we see he had reverb. That means there were signs that was happening before, but people were too interested in him reading the woman their rights and putting them in their place to see that, hey, man, you good? So, if you want to put any charge, put charge on the people who were just yeasting him up night after night to one up and do better than he did the night before, and wasn't intuitive enough to look in and say, hey, there's something going on with your health. See, now it sounds crazy. Like, how you going to blame the people that's watching? Well, that's what people are doing. They're just running around blaming everybody, right? Well, let's continue. Um, What causes heart attack? The vast majority of heart attacks occur because of a blockage in one of the blood vessels that supply your heart. This most often happens because of plaque, a sticky substance that can build up on the insides of your arteries, similar to how pouring grease down the kitchen sink can clog home plumbing. And another thing with arteries and clogging, oftentimes if people eat a lot of greasy foods, which he's on record saying he loves his fried chicken, and you have Coke or some type of bubbly drink or some type of cold drink, this hardens plaque. If you notice in other countries, sometimes East Indian countries or Asian countries, when they after a meal they drink warm tea, they drink something warm. So we see him drinking a lot of carbonated drinks, a lot of cold things. So again, it could very well have been, it's not unheard of. Maybe we'll come back and look at the statistics of Black men who have heart issues, so that instead of pointing the finger at how other people can change, we can make sure that the ones we love are okay. Heart attacks are possible without a blockage, but this is rare and only accounts for about 5% of all heart attacks. And then they go into spasm of the artery, rare medical condition, trauma. We also learned that he said, according to what he said when I did my research last year, that early on in college, this is what he said, that he had cancer, right? So he would have had to go through some treatment. This is what he was saying, to deal with the cancer. So we know that at some point in his life, his immune system was compromised or his body was compromised in some way. We don't know how that affected his heart. Okay. Trauma, obstruction, electrolyte imbalances, having too much or too little of key minerals like potassium in your blood can cause a heart attack, as well as eating disorders. So I'm gonna put it here because, again, like I said, this computer's about to die. Um, Again, we would rather not. Look at some of the common symptoms. Chest pain. This is what she said he was complaining of. It can be mild and feel like a discomfort or heaviness, or it can be severe and feel like crushing pain. It may start in your chest and spread and radiate to other areas like your left arm, shoulder, knee, jaw, back, or down towards your waist. Shortness of breath or trouble breathing. So if this woman would have seen him and she's trying to give him CPR and that's not dealing with the issue, although he's experiencing shortness of breath, CPR is just going to try to keep breath in your lungs. But if you're having a heart attack, you need something else. Heart palpitations, where she was saying that he was having irregular heartbeats. Again, from what she's saying to what we're reading, we don't know what is the cause of the heart attack. We can only surmise, but one would have to really wait and see. So that's kind of on the heart attack thing. I think we need to become more educated because we have this type of, oh yes, let's blame. Okay, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And for the sake of time, about TI at another time, because that was a whole nother conversation. Let me look at these comments real quick. The operator was ratchet and ghetto. Hold on, ma'am. Asking, do you need an ambulance? As she, I mean, if the app, she sounds like she was local. I mean, I don't know how one would want her to talk. I don't. Did she do her job though? Did she do her job? Did she connect her with the right people? I don't know. Did she? It sounds like she did. So that's that right there. Uh, let's see. I don't know. So see, it's exactly, instead of us learning, edifying from what was left on record, we're projecting on what we think should have been in the situation, not understanding where the argument come in. Yeah, there's more than one person. On the original one, she calls the operator. The operator asks her the same thing the other ambulance guy asked her. Where are you? Originally the woman, the sister asked her, are you in a house or an apartment? She says she doesn't know. And she's like, you don't know. And then the lady says, I'm in an apartment. I have to find that video. And then she proceeds to try to get the information that she needs. She says, do you need an ambulance? And then she connects her. So, I mean, she did her job. I don't know how she's getting thrown under the bus right now. If this is real and what we're getting is accurate, the woman did her job. Um, Furthermore, when you're in a situation such as this, where it's an emergency, yeah, maybe you'll start to forget things. I mean, how many people has been in a situation where it's an emergency? You are operating on a different level. It's not the same thing. I think we're being unreasonable right now. The lady, and also the woman who's calling in, she is it's trying to get more this is Kevin effing Sam. It's like the operator is like, lady, usually somebody will be like, it's their husband, it's their child, it's their dog, somebody's gonna say there, but she's so present in that moment of this quote unquote celebrity of who that person is, as if it was supposed to make a difference, when they trying to do is figure out where you are so that they can get help to you as soon as possible. Because you didn't have that information, it made it rather difficult, right? So that was interesting. I'll play the call once again. Yeah, she's a new nurse, according to that. Getting the facts are causing people to argue. This is where you proceed when, okay, let's get the facts of the situation, and people are still projecting instead of saying, okay, that's what happened. We weren't there. Most was back outside, away from the Wi-Fi. I'm like outside, so tell me if it's still breaking up. John, John got jokes today. Then y'all, let me run a commercial then. John got jokes today. I'm not gonna run a commercial right now. I'm gonna do it at the end, but I'm because the computer is dying. So let's listen to the call one more time so that we can get some facts over feelings right now, and move through this with informative information. Let's listen to it one more time.
All of that fat bucket that was here, that huge bucket, is just gone.
With AirSculpt, there's no.
Hello, ma'am. Is this a house apartment or a business?
It's an apartment. Please, it's the resident.
What's the apartment number?
I don't know. He just asked for it. Kevin Samuel. It's up in, I think, I'm not sure what it is, but just, he's not breathing. I'm trying to give him CPR. He's breathing now, but I think he has a regular rhythm. Please, hurry. I'm a nurse, but I'm trying to give him CPR.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We need to know exactly what apartment number to go to.
I don't know. I just got a desk.
What's that phone number you're calling from, ma'am?
There's also a possibility that because she was a nurse, that she may have had the thought that I can deal with this situation, and that when it got beyond her, she called in a panic. We don't know that whether or not she called immediately, or did she try to disseminate CPR, and when it wasn't working, then she frantically picked up the phone and tried to get more help. We don't know. We don't know. That would be something for her to tell us.
Is he awake?
No, he has an irregular rhythm. I can feel it. He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart. So I need you to get here with.
And Atlanta, I'm operator 936. It's requesting fire and PD for 9 Echo 1. Echo 1.
Reading turning blue.
I'm 7, man, hold on. I'm 791,
Oh my God.
Okay, ma'am, we have help en route. We have fire and EMS around, but we need to know that apartment number, ma'am.
You heard what he said? Sorry, what is my thing? He said, he said, wait a minute. He said we have fire and EMS around. This is what he says. We have fire and EMS around, but we can't get to you until we know the apartment number. Okay? That is something that it's it may be overlooked, but just having random women, I have to come back and talk after I've plugged this thing up, but just having random women, like he said, I heard the last one of the streams that he was trying to look for 1099 girlfriend who he contracts and pays. They don't know anything about you, not even your house number. They said we have EMS around and the ambulance, but we can't get to you. And by the way, the house number was, according to the police report, let me see here. According to the police report, the apartment number was 2205. 2205. So the chances of that being on the ground floor is slim. Okay, we can look and see what floor the 2205 was, and it's in an apartment complex. If it has gated, if it's in Buckhead and it has door service and all of these things, how would they have gotten in there? Right? So exactly, maybe, so there's so many things to consider. Hopefully we just be, in this particular case, because this could happen, in so many cases, let's just operate with a little bit of caution. You know what I mean? Operate with a little bit of caution, because it can be so many things. And as we have the conversation, just wait for some of the more of the details to come out to get some understanding. Right away, people are like, turn yourself in. She's a criminal. They sent her in. I'm like, what am I hearing though? Come on, man. YouTube is doing the most. Anyway, with that said, this is about to die. Sorry if it went in and out. Hopefully you heard the gist of it. Next time we'll come back and have the open mic. I'm gonna play my little thing on the way out, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you again next time. I think nothing is happening.